Dave here again. All right, it is Wednesday and this is the week check-in. So last week, you remember, it was pretty busy and I said, oh, I'll get my things going and I'll do my calisthenics and I'll get all that figured out. Yeah, that never happened. This week has been pretty busy as well. The boys have been having a little trouble adjusting back to the school life. So we've been taking up a lot of time trying to get them back into the swing of things. While that's been going on, at the end of the day, I've just been just out of my wits trying to get back into it. I will. I need to do it. Otherwise, I'm going to definitely fall behind. And I don't want to do that. So I've been not really focusing on that. I have taken care of the food thing. I have been finding new options as far as food options. We found these crab cakes that are imitation crab cakes. They're actually really good. They're very low cal. I'll try to get some pictures and mix them in here. I've done that. We found these low carb, low calorie hamburger buns. So when we do the meatless burgers or the meatless chicken patties, we can do it on something that tastes more like a bun. Now, they're very expensive, and I'll include a picture of those as well. They are low carb, low cal. They do have the taste of a bun. But the texture is more of a stale bun. So if you toast it, it actually improves the flavor of it and the texture of it quite a bit. You just got to be careful because it has like this oil on the outside. It's kind of an oily bun. It's weird. But if you toast it too long, it scorches the oil and it's not so good. So I've done that on one. The other one turned out pretty good. So those are good. We've found different types, different options as far as meats. So we've got that, the flat buns, the tortillas, the low-cal tortillas. So you can make burritos, or you can make spagritos, which is the spaghetti squash with wrapped in a burrito that kind of is made up to be like garlic bread. So there's a lot of different things like that. And I cover some of this stuff on my Instagram. If you want, go check out that. It's Dave Mazer Fits on Instagram. I also have my outdoor channel that I do on there that I post on to as well. And that would be Dave's Life IG. But anyway, back to it. I've got a few different options as far as foods that I'm going to, and that was one of the things I said that I needed to do, was change up the foods and kind of make things a little bit, instead of eating the same thing over and over, breakfast this, lunch this, dinner this, kind of break it up a little bit, and that makes it easier to follow the diet. So one of the other things I found, which I had yesterday, was these kelp noodles. They look like the Thai glass noodles, which I'm a big fan of. And they've got a little more bite than the glass noodles. Not much, though. They're very close. They're not like the Noodle Zero, which have that crunch to them. These are very much like it. And the thing about them is they don't have that weird other taste to them. They do have a smell. They smell like the sea because they're made out of kelp. But they're really good. And I made a ramen out of that using chicken stock and some imitation chicken and a few other things. And that turned out really, really good. That was actually quite spicy, quite good. I liked it. My wife won't eat stuff like that. She's not a big fan of spice. She thinks pepper is spicy. But she also doesn't really like the Asian flavors as much as I do. I like it a lot. She's more into the Spanish flavors. She likes that more. She was she was raised in the Southeast, so that's more familiar to her. She likes those more, which is fine. I mean, we can work with that. So that's a couple things that I've worked on. You'll see last week we actually did play. We played Fortnite both days. Got on my Twitch channel, which is David Mazer Plays, and it was by the way, if you're seeing this within the hour of it coming out, I'll be on there playing again today. This is actually, I don't know what I'm going to be playing today. It could be Warcraft. It could be, I think last week we played Warcraft actually. It could be Fortnite. It could be Gummy's Life. It could be anything. It could be Sanitarium, for all I care. But we'll see. I've been getting into the Fortnite a lot more. The solos I do a lot better when I have my kids with me. I tend to let them call the shots, and that usually gets us killed pretty quick. When I play the solo, I'm a little more sneaky about it. I'm not really as confrontational. The boys will go rushing in and just start trying to kill everything, and that usually gets you killed pretty quick. Let's see, what else are we doing? This week, we're going to be trying to focus more on getting the exercise. So my toe is doing really good. I'm probably weeks away from being able to walk on it on a distance type thing. Hopefully I get some walking in before it gets really, really cold. It is getting cold here now. We're getting into the days where we're having highs of like 60s and lows down in the 40s and low 50s, and even some days this week in the 30s. So it's starting to get cold here. Interesting thing though, we did find some mushrooms in the yard this week. So that's something that's kind of interesting to happen. And it brought to mind that there's this interesting mushroom. I'm a big fan of mushrooms. I think they're great. I don't think you should pick up just any wild mushroom and try it. If you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. This is not a suggested thing for anybody to do. I'm just laying that out there because mushrooms in the wild, if you don't know what you're doing, can be extremely dangerous. But there's a mushroom that grows here in Minnesota called a giant puffball mushroom. And if you have time, look this thing up. It is shocking. They're about the size of a soccer ball. Some are even bigger. And if you cut them out, and this is what I'm told, don't follow this as a guide, but I'm told if you cut them open and they're pure white from all the way through, no gills, because that's what the underside of a mushroom is called, is gills. But no gills in this one, pure white all the way through, then it's safe to eat. And imagine a solid ball of mushroom this big, sliced and cooked up like a steak. I mean, okay, I know portobello mushrooms, you take off the gills, they're like a steak. No, they're not. They're wet and gloppy. But they're good. I like portobello mushrooms. This is something totally different. This is a pure white mushroom. It's like a white cap mushroom that is solid all the way through and just, oh my God, I would love to try that. So if any of you see this and you know where I can find them here locally in Minnesota, let me know. I don't know of a place I can actually get them from here. I don't want to go onto somebody's land and try to find them on somebody's land. That'll get you shot. Well, at least where I used to live in Georgia, it would. But you don't want to just go find them on somebody's land. You want to find them. And I'm not 100% certain on these yet. I've seen people eating them. I've seen people doing this. And I've never met anybody in person that does it. So I want to do a little more research before I try it. Now, from what I understand, there's smaller ones called puffball mushrooms. And there's toadstools and that, or poisonous ones. And if they've got anything other than white in them at all, then don't touch them. However, from what I understand, there's no poisonous version of the giant ones. But I could be wrong. But anyway, that's just an interesting thing that I found out that that the mushrooms in the yard reminded me of. And I was like, I've got to find out about this. But I found that interesting. I thought I'd share it with you. But I think that's pretty much all I've got this week. Interesting things with the mushrooms. Interesting things going on with the food. check my Instagram for updates on the stuff that I make and stuff that I cook. Check my other channel, Dave's Life. It's for outdoor things. I'll probably be doing like a welding thing. Oh, that was another thing. I got a finally got my argon tank for my TIG welder, and I'm going to be able to do some TIG welding. This past week, I blinded myself with my TIG welder, so fun story. Anyway, I thought I'd throw that in the end, and I guess if you have any questions or comments, leave them below or find me on Twitch, and I'll be glad to chat with you there. And otherwise, I guess we'll see you on Friday for the weigh-in.